It's Damica. Welcome back.
And it's Zenebou.
Welcome to DamnBoo, y'all.
Yeah, welcome. When shit's so fucked up,
all you can say is
DamnBoo.
Whew. Alright. We got a lot to cover this
yeah,
week.
So
without further ado,
we diving right in.
we diving right in to voice out, show out.
Yes.
All right, friend. Where would you like to start?
So first off, I just kind of want to acknowledge all the victims that happened in the Atlanta area shooting, and I think we forgot one or two names. So we definitely want to make sure that we acknowledge everyone, and still, make sure that these names are memorialized. Wow, I can't speak. But so we're just gonna say the names of the victims, and so. Soon Jung Park, Han Jung Grant, Soon Cha Kim,
Young Ye U, Xiao J Tan, Dao Yu Feng, Delania Ashley Juan Gonzalez, and
Paul Andrew Michaels. And we're also going to mention Iglesias R. Hernandez Ortez. He is the victim that's actually survived the shooting. And so they have a GoFundMe. And so you can donate to that to be able to help with his surgery. So we're also going to acknowledge the victims in the Colorado Boulder shooting. So we also want to make sure that we say their names. Ricky Olds, Kevin Mahoney, Eric Talley, Terry Leckler,
Denny Stong, Tarlona Bartuoik, Nevin Stancic, Suzanne Fountain, Lynn Murray, and Jody Waters.
Yeah. And so we just want to take the time out for that, and hopefully you can help where you can, and we're going to just jump into our mentions.
Yep, and resources will be in the description box below as always. But for my first voice out show out, I wanted to give a shout out to the Black in Fashion Council. As y'all know, mentorships are hugely important and significant in BIPOC communities, and Black in Fashion Council is leading a great example with it. It was founded by Lindsay Peoples-Wagner and Cedrine Charles. Good fact though, Lindsay Peoples-Wagner is the editor-in-chief of The Cut and was the former editor-in-chief of Teen Vogue. Ooh. She was also in Forbes 30 Under 30. So
big things.
Who I wanted to aspire to be is Lindsay. But big props to these two women helping out with Black creatives in the fashion and beauty industry and the advancement, because Lord knows the way it is right now definitely needs that. We also have Women Who Create. It was founded in New York City, and the co-founders are Shauna Margaret and Ash Ramirez. They help out women in all fields, from fashion to entrepreneurship to freelancing, for all women creators and everything, and women of color creators especially. So big ups to y'all and y'all's continuous efforts to uplift women in communities that are probably and definitely in predominantly male-dominated fields and everything. So big ups to y'all. I'm definitely going to use their service, though, for early mentorships, because
for sure
at this point in time, that definitely needs to happen for me.
Yeah.
For journalism,
for my voice out shout outs, I want to mention a multidisciplinary artist. I believe you pronounce her name Nawal Baila, and she's selling buttons to raise awareness for an art fundraiser for the LGBT plus community rights in Ghana. And so you can definitely make sure to check out her work. It's amazing. Like, I really want to buy these buttons. And so her IG is NWAOBIALA 419. I also want to give a shout out to Wicked Loud. They're hosting a youth poetry festival, and registration is open, and it's open to free. It's open and free, and it's for students and educators, and it's happening April 10th and 11th. So make sure you check out for more information. You can follow them on IG or Twitter at MassLeap, and also on their site massleap.org, wicked-loud. And also there's the last one I want to mention is Project Let's. They are on Instagram. They have an account, and they build radical peer support collectives, but also provide political education and advocacy services for neurodivergent, which is people who have autism and ADHD, and also people with mental health problems and disabilities. And so you can follow them on IG at Project Let's.
Oh, I just love these people that we
Yes.
all mentioned. Like, they're doing such big things, and especially for a lot of these events being open and open registration, all for people and everything. Like,
yeah, I just love that people are always giving back resources to different communities, and we try to, you know, shout out a range of different communities, whether it's from women or people that are seeking help for mental health, or, you know, have certain disabilities, or a whole range. So I really like that we try. And, you know, it's hard. We're trying, so make sure to correct us, let us know anything.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We'll definitely rewrite it back and make sure that we give their flowers as they should.
Yes.
Whenever they're here. So
you already know.
You already know. But without further ado, friends, we're going to go cut into our next segment, Ven Pals. So, friend, how would you describe this week's Ven Pals? In one word.
Y'all already hear that. So y'all already know it's about to go down. It's about to go down. And we just had to make sure we do something like this, because not only is it the last time we'll be recording for Women's History Month, but we just have to make sure that we talk about this. And so
this is a significant part of our identities.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Sadly. But we're going to get right into it. What's the topic?
So we're going to be talking about beauty standards in the framework for BIPOC women, specifically BIPOC women who are Black and brown, and specifically, even more specifically, the ways that European beauty standards will force us to believe that our skin isn't enough.
And so with that, we talk about colorism. Colorism. Some of y'all like to believe it's not there. It definitely is there. I definitely grew up, like, I remember, growing up, I was darker than my mother. So just seeing like how people reacted, and like sometimes I would get like that kind of like statement or question, like, "Oh, that's your mom. Why are you shocked?"
Right. It's like that incredulous, like, whoa.
Yeah. And so it was always kind of just like, I don't know. I just felt like I seen it, and it was like the lighter you were, the more benefits, the more opportunities you would get. But in actuality, it's like, why is that such a thing? Because like I'm like,
it was the same for me too. I think when I was born in South Korea, and I was born in the army.
I hear that.
I was born in South Korea. I was born in an army hospital because my father being in the military and all. And I remember when I came right out of the womb, I was light as hell. And of course, like, over time, I started, gaining my actual like skin color and everything.
Your melanin.
My melanin, my skin, like even my features, like hair and everything. I had hair everywhere, but it started getting darker and everything. So like, as I got older and everything, my melanin became more prominent. But a lot of my mom's friends would be really concerned. They'd be like, do you want to make sure that she's like lighter and everything? Like how dark is she gonna be in the future? And it was like these like completely colorist, like comments and everything, intrusive comments too. And we even like were suggesting like baby safe products for skin illuminating creams.
How is a baby safe?
None of these are even safe for like like let alone a baby. And when I went to Puerto Rico when I was 2 and everything, I got completely darker, got my tan and everything, and it never left because melanin doesn't do that. But as soon as I came back, I remember my mom had to cut off a lot of friends because of the fact that all their gifts revolved around, really like covered sun hats or like coats or, you know, like certain things that you would like wear safe for the summer to protect yourself from the sun. But it was just like things that it was coming from a very ill intent place. And everything. So that was like the formative part of where my skin color like and confusion around how I felt about my skin color came from too.
Yeah, because there's definitely, I feel like conversations like that often take place in my house too. Just because like my dad is a darker skin and my mom is lighter, and so it's me and my middle sister. We have more of our dad's complexion, while my younger sister has my mom's complexion, or like similarly close. But just seeing that how people can be treated different, but it's weird because it's like at the end of the day, that's still like my parents, that's still my family. But why should my skin color have like such an effect on you?
It's such an effect, and at the same time, it's like it warrants no space. I feel like it warrants space for them to invade your privacy about like your family life, what your mom looks like, what your dad looks like. And it's like, I don't need to go into my phenotypes with you. Like, I don't need to go into my Punnett square with you and figure out what went out. Like,
are you the scientist?
Exactly.
Why do you need all this info? No, but yeah, just noting that also these, when people say they have like preferences too, and how that can be, that's just, okay, we just gonna call it out. Yeah,
call it out as it is.
It's just racist, okay?
Racist, colorist, like, y'all put it under the guise of preferences a little too comfortably.
Like, why is it like, no, it's like, because, what? It's not wrapping around my head, but like, just to think that people just think of this, it's like crazy. But I'm just like.
I remember, what was it, A$AP Rocky or whatever? He made like this comment or whatever, talking about how like dark-skinned black women can't wear like red lipstick or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? That takes me back. Like, it takes me back. That's exactly what it reminds me of.
Because I'm thinking, literally, when I was watching How to Get Away with Murder.
Yeah.
Ooh.
What part are you talking about?
I'm just telling you, these women inspired me. I'm Viola Davis and also Aja.
I know you're talking about,
I saw them wear all type of shades of red, and I said, how can you, yes, come on, rock that red lipstick. I said,
business
I
attire.
put it in my notes. I said, I need to figure out where these shades are.
She walked into that courtroom ready to end your life regardless without the outfit, but she came.
She came. And I was like, that's how you serve. Come on.
Exactly.
And I was like, yes, there can be dark-skinned women that do have shades of red that they can, you know, it's just all about finding what suits you. You can rock whatever you want too.
Literally.
Like, but just to say that if it's only this type of like race or only goes like, that's false, because you creating that notion in your head. Now watch me step out and you're going to think differently.
Literally, and you know what's crazy? It was so formative, even in like TV shows surrounded by beauty. I remember America's Next Top Model and everything. Tyra and the judges, like there was so many moments in the earlier seasons, even some of the seasons now, that are very coded.
Yeah.
And they were very racist. I remember one of the contestants, she had, she was just, I don't know what it was like she was wearing, but she just walked up to them, and one of the judges who said that she looked too African, or she looked too much like too safari or whatever. Saying like some bullshit, some stereotypical bullshit about her, and it was something about her, like her skin color and everything. And then like on top of it in the show and everything, there's like a segment within the show where they would switch up your look, right?
Oh,
out of nowhere, right? That was disrespectful, Loki, because if you get if you get disqualified,
that's it.
And you get stuck with bald head. Like I'll be like, you go home, a haircut that you don't want, right? Like one of the girls, she left with a mohawk that she didn't want and everything. But I noticed Bella hairstylists and makeup artists on that show and everything hardly ever shade match, color match, put a great palette and makeup attention to, and beauty attention and fashion attention to a lot of the dark skinned models that were over there and everything. And it was just...
It's ridiculous. Because I remember watching America's Top Model. I feel like everybody was watching it at that time. And just seeing, like, I feel like I didn't pick up on it or see, like, but I just was like, it's weird now looking back and seeing, like, you know, some of these videos resurface and where everybody was talking about how, you know, they were being mistreated on the show, or they were, you know, the beauty industry is some type of way. But it's like, when you're little watching that, I feel like everybody wanted to be on America's Next Top Model.
Yeah,
and
same.
now, like, actually understanding how this was going on and what was going on, you're just like, no. And that also, like, brings me to, like, Winnie Harlow. She was on America's Top Model.
Yeah.
But I actually first recognized Winnie in Latoya Forever's vlogs. She had a YouTube channel. Latoya Forever had a YouTube channel, and Winnie Harlow, she was one of, like, her friends in her vlogs. And so I would see her, and I was like, I didn't realize at that time she was pursuing a modeling career, but it just having representation like that. That's really incredible, because I've never really seen that until I've seen faces like Winnie Harlow. And to think that it's like outrageous for people. These are everyday people that want to pursue their dreams, but just knowing that the beauty industry can limit you, or like they already have a certain look, a certain mind that they want to go into, so it's harder for you to get into places. That's just, like, different. And also, it made me think of Jamie Brewer, who's in American Horror Story, and she's already come out with, like, her story, but just seeing that there's good representation of people who have disabilities or have different skin conditions and stuff like that can be displayed into the industry. That's really interesting.
Let me look her up real quick, because I feel like I know who you're talking about, but it's not coming up to my head.
You definitely, it's one of those, you know her face, okay, once you see it.
Oh, yeah.
Already?
She acted her ass off. American Horror Story. That's exactly
She
right.
give you roles, honey, roles. And it's just
Range.
like, yeah, and that just, like, takes me, like, back to, like, how there can be so much more representation, and how these women are already doing it, no matter who tells them what. They can be put down a million times, and guess who's making it on top right now?
And it's crazy too, because, like, those same models that are being told no for, like, their skin color, for how dark they are, and oftentimes, like, most of them are dark skin models and everything. Light skin models are often treated in a different umbrella than that.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed too is that, like, big fashion companies like Prada, Gucci, and Burberry and everything will release such racist designs that are very reminiscent of, like, caricatures from the past and everything, or, like, just, like, overall blackface, like, blatant blackface and everything, and you could see the problem with it. You could see the actual outrage and the actual problem within these designs and everything. Like, they're plain as day. And for them to feign innocence whenever it gets released and everything, because of the fact that people are going to be outraged and everything, but they use this type of this as a marketing tactic called, like, black outrage, where it's like people will react to it, obviously, because why not? Like, I'm not going to sit here and stay quiet about the fact that you have, like,
you
these racist
disrespecting
characters
my culture, my race,
right?
like, everything.
Literally, and it's like they use that to boost them up and gain them popularity and stuff like that, because they're pathetic as like as designers and everything. Like, they have this, honestly, they have such a monolithic look. They don't have, like, the same like, they don't have, like, a range, consistency or anything.
And it's funny because these products may be targeted to wealthy white people. In a way, you can still see how people within Black communities, Asian communities, Latin communities, everybody still wants to be, like, you know, within that range. Like, everybody wants to have a Gucci, everybody wants to have a Burberry, and it's because of, like, this symbol of, like, just class and, like, wealth, and just, like, but to understand that these are the same companies that don't, like, think of you in that way or highly of you. I don't know if it's worth being able to get these brands, because, like,
That's true too.
Because it's kind of like literally a slap to my face. Because like you're literally talking about me behind my back, but yet you wouldn't mind if you get money off of me.
It's exploitative, and a lot of, and I even just like upper high end brands do this too. But I remember, maybe it was 2017, 2018 when Jeffree Star partnered with Nikita Dragun and everything in this campaign.
And you already know two very problematic.
continuously. But in the campaign, Nikita was featured in, I'm gonna just say it, blackface and everything, because like the whole entire time in defense of that campaign and stuff like that, it was talking in such a way of like where it was like, oh no, it was just the editing. It was just, you could literally see Nikita like in this dark image and everything of like this background, but her whole entire skin color is different. There's ways to showcase a highlight on an actual dark skinned model and not use someone who isn't. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like think of how beautiful it would look just gleaming off of a dark skin model.
Exactly, and it's like you are over like with. I mean, I'm not even surprised the man with his racist past and shit like that. Yeah. I really don't be
we already know.
Like expecting more or anything, but you know, it's that type of tactic for a lot of beauty brands to always use the aesthetic of Black culture and dark skinned individuals and everything versus like actually featuring and representing Black people into media and beauty and everything.
It's very funny because they're like literally beneath like everything, they're trying to get the attention of us. And it's usually us that are promoting it or making it a look or making it trend or go off, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, like I wonder where she got this, or like what brand, or where is this like going from. And it's like, but they don't have the same respect for us.
You get stuck like in this weird place too, like where you get told that your culture gets used for aesthetic, for gain and everything, for profit and all this stuff. Exactly. But then you get the flip side of things where, I mean, honestly, like brands like Fair and Lovely, White Delicious, this Snow White cream. Literally, I've seen that so much throughout my childhood and everything, and I still see it as an adult too. Like I still see certain campaigns within like Philippines and everything that are plastered everywhere, and it's predominant in Asian culture, especially in East Asian culture, just because of the fact, the history behind it, what whiteness and fairness represented in those cultures, and how it is always reinforced, even in like it overlaps into even like the type of jobs you get, how you get treated, how you feel about yourself, how you feel represented and everything. And on top of it too, it's like you get that side, but then you get the other side of like, oh, we're gonna use you for like the way you look right now, though, you know? Yeah,
and that just like reminds me of like this article that I saw on the style section of Vogue. It was by Jessica DeFino, and she talks about basically like how white supremacy and capitalism is on the beauty standards, and just like it points out different like factors such as sexism, racism, colorism, classism, ableism, ageism, and gender norms. And so she like literally pointed out that it makes you feel like these different emotions of anxiety, depression, body dysmorphia, eating disorders, self-harm, and even low self-esteem. And it just points out like how much control they have over us. And she was basically saying also too that just as much as they're getting their brands to boost up and stuff like that, it's the same way they're building, their patriarchy. The same way their patriarchy is building up as well.
It's all intersectional.
Yeah, and I'm like, when you was talking about like, Fair and Lovely and, the Snow White cream and all that stuff, she also pointed out like this started from like, I believe like the 15th century, and this is where colonizers were like, they was all up in everybody place, everybody business, and they was over there preaching whiteness. And so it was even from like times of, and so from like times of even like slavery, we like understood when they would have the lighter folks work inside the house while the dark folks worked outside the house, and how that was a different dynamic within itself, and how you were treated different. But also in places like Egypt, and just like the Greek and Roman like times, it was also being preached like the lighter you were, the higher you were.
Right.
And so I was just like, and it still happens today. It's not like it's just like it's gone and out the window, but it's definitely still there today. And I'm just like, ugh, I'm so annoyed.
It is really annoying too, because I think when you think about just like the way you're stuck between like this rock and a hard place and everything, I feel like it almost takes like a large amount of trauma to really come to terms with yourself and be like, well, this is the skin I'm in and everything. But it's like, why do I have to go through like X, Y, and Z, this trauma, this experience, this kid calling me this, my mom doing this, or my father doing, you know, like all this type of stuff, in order to feel comfortable in my own skin and everything. I remember like having like dark marks on my knees, you know what I'm saying? Like just having darkness around my knees. And I remember my mom, she would have like these pumice like scrubs or whatever. She's like, oh, like you're not scrubbing hard enough and everything. And I remember like in the shower I would just be scrubbing as hard as I could and everything. And I remember being in a predominantly white neighborhood when I was little and everything. I remember like looking around being like, fuck, like why am I like the sore thumb out and everything. So it's definitely one of those things that forms as young as you're born and everything. And plus too, it's like whenever you think about how it forms into capitalism and patriarchy and everything, a lot of the things that are disguised as like beauty and disguised as like self-fulfillment or self-care or whatever, like
that's a big one.
That's a big one. It's the thing about it is like if we never gave our money to those companies, or we never like if that wasn't so heavily integrated into our communities, they would go out of business.
They're really falling. Struggling.
Right. They feed off of our insecurities. They feed off of the insecurities they purport on us.
You just hit the nail on the head.
That was it. Because how long did it take for us to do that? Like insecure about that, you know?
Yeah, and even thinking about like you mentioned like it just makes me think of like body types too. I feel like that's been a thing. Like I feel like I've definitely seen it change over time, and so you know it's kind of now. Women are like glorified for like the curvier they are, you know, you gotta have this type of shape, and it's like, why is this becoming a thing? And like I remember when people was getting on Lizzo for just, you know, just being on her health journey,
I just want to give a
and because they already put her in this one type of like you know category. She was our role model for, you know, just the curvy girls, and and that she's just trying to change herself now. But what is I'm like thinking now when I'm like, oh, I work out and stuff, I think of like how I can help my like body better, like
healthily, like you know, like feeling good.
A bitch be huffing and puffing up the stairs. You already know. And I'm like, I have asthma, and I'm like, I'm trying to figure out, and like I'm not the type of person, like you'll see me, I usually don't go around to, you know, wear makeup and stuff, but when I do, it's for myself. It's just to kind of like be able to express myself, you know, look cute once in a while, you already know.
Exactly, as you should.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, even as we're filming this today, I was just mentioning I got a pimple underneath my nose. So, you know, I'm in this like phase right now. I'm trying to understand my body more so I can help my body. Like if I'm over here trying to figure out how I want, you know, clear skin, and I felt like my skin has definitely progressed over time. But like if I want these things, I feel like I got to learn my body from the inside out. And it's nothing wrong if, you know, you decide you want to go on a health journey. It's the way you want to take care of yourself. And also like just thinking like things like acne and stuff, how that's like looked down upon, or like if you have stretch marks, that was a thing, or like cellulite. And just even think of like when Kiki Palmer came out on Instagram and she like shared like her acne and stuff like that, and how she's tried to change it. But some of these things you just can't control.
I think that's the big key. It's like there's certain things about myself that I'm not gonna attempt to control because it's my body, and also too, you know, in the end of the day, I think the best form of like thriving and being comfortable in like our beauty and everything is just being in our beauty. You know what I'm saying? Being encapsulated by us, embracing what we have and everything. Taking care of ourselves. I think that's a huge part. I think that was the problem with like people's comments on like Lizzo's bodies and everything. It was just because everyone suddenly wanted to be a fucking health expert and shit like that. And
didn't know you got a PhD in that.
And it's like y'all are coming from, y'all don't realize, but y'all come from a colorist place. Y'all come from a fatphobic place. Because if this was a skinny white girl, like
you'd be fine.
Y'all would never say nothing.
Oh my gosh, I see. Oh, her body's looking right, but it's like, give us the same respect. And that makes me think of like just like things like Rihanna's Fenty show. She had like amazing range of just women that were displayed in the show, and just like you saw a piece of yourself in everyone. You saw different women. You saw all like, and you were like, this is how we need something like this. This is like what's like amazing to see, and just to see yourself highlighted. And these women was rocking. How they were in their beautiful individual selves. And I'm just like thinking, it even goes down to hair, because I'm thinking like, in me being a part of, I feel like, the natural hair community now. Before, it wasn't, I would always be straightening my hair, blow drying my hair just went dead. But I felt like these are things like to fit into, you know, European standards and just like fit in. And then now I literally have not put heat on my hair for like, I don't even know, but it has been more than like 3 years at this point. And so I did a big chop and started off, and I learned to be more comfortable with myself. And so I feel like it's all about being able to be comfortable and rock your body how you want to.
Exactly. But in the essence of things, I think we should go ahead and jump into our next segment, Shamble Diaries. Ooh. You know, we got a lot to say.
You gotta shake up the room.
You gotta shake up the room. More representation, y'all. That's all we
have.
LOL. Next segment, y'all.
Next segment.
All right, y'all.
We gotta.
Back.
we back. But we all, well, let me start rambling. What am I saying? We gotta get into this segment, this Shamble Diaries, because she's been missing in action for a minute. I'm ready to bring her back out. Rise and shine.
She said, I'm here, back from my vacation. A little 2 weeker.
Yeah. Where you been?
Like, she been out waiting for this. This is what I wanted to talk about for the Shamble Diaries.
What do you want to talk about?
So I know we talk about messy communities, but I'm talking about a certain community that is making other beauty communities in shambles. Because y'all, I knew y'all missed the mark whenever this happened. But so Fenty released a new skin tint with a beautiful shade range. Granted, it is cut in half from like the previous foundations, but there is a way that you can like correlate which shades you have and everything, and they still have a good range for all my girls who do not want to be out here caking and sweating during the summer. I know. I've been there.
Damica, she's our beauty guru here, so she got y'all.
And Rihanna's personal assistant in the future. I want to give it to like 2024.
Come on.
2024.
Ambassador?
If I become an ambassador, I might cry. Like, that would be, I will die happily. But yeah, the skin tint is something that's really huge because a lot of beauty products and everything that revolve around minimal wear foundation or minimal, you know, like something you can mix with your moisturizer, BB creams and stuff like that. A lot of things that are very correlated to K-beauty, but just bigger and better because we actually have something for each and every skin tone. We're actually, and more than skin tones, we also have people with different undertones that we can assess.
Y'all hear that, y'all?
And it's so easy to use. I'm not using this as an advert or nothing, but this is something that's really huge because of the fact that I don't know. When I think about my journey with like foundations, skin tints were never there because it was always some raggedy formula, very watery or very like white pasting and everything. It was just, they didn't have the shades.
And it's just letting you know that different, and this is like products being made from different countries and stuff like that, and they want to kind of like fit into this Western standards and, you know, normalize these European standards, and it's like that's not what we're looking for, because what am I supposed to do with that?
Exactly.
Like what do I look like with the lightest shade of foundation on? Come on.
I know the 90s was a struggle bus because we all look casket ready.
Yeah, I was like, oh, if you saw the way. They're not going to even say nothing.
But, you know, there were some outshiners in that era, too. A lot of makeup artists just weren't recognized and all that stuff. But you know what? We're here now. And I feel like it's only going to get better from here. I'm just so excited for Fenty Skin Tint, especially for all my girls wearing the masks and everything. Look, we do not need no transferring, okay? No transferring. And
that's the most annoying part.
It's the most annoying part.
Like, I'm telling you, I don't be wearing lip gloss or nothing, but just my chapstick be all up in my mask. So I know it's a struggle.
I can't even show you my mask right now. I wouldn't even feel comfortable showing it again.
Y'all not getting it on here, though.
maybe after the segment. But that's all I gotta say for the Shamble Diaries.
Yeah. And even though this isn't current, I just want to like pin out like these companies and individuals that are making these type of products, and kind of basically, you know, forcing or trying to normalize these, you know, European or white standards that we're not going through. Because like a lot of these, like for something like Fenty to be creative, it was created by a Black woman. Someone where she can see that it wasn't a lot of representation or diversity within the industry, and she's trying to give it back. And so I'm thinking like of all these companies that create everything from perms to relaxers, like all these people, and like just even think of like natural hair products too. A lot of these are not made by individuals that are actually using these products. Like there was like Dark and Lovely, that's made I think by a white man.
Dark and Lovely?
Yeah, and it's like a relaxer, so like, you know, get your hair straight, all that.
Shit.
And you're like, how? But now it makes sense as to why.
Right.
And there's like natural hair products. I know there's a lot of companies too that have been started by individuals of that particular race. Like a lot of Black individuals too have started their own brands and products. I think it was Carol's daughter started out with like the actual CEO and like starter of that, founder of it being Black, but traded it over, I think, to L'Oreal. So you see a lot of these spaces are being invaded.
Colonized.
Yeah, and so it's like, wow, that's crazy. So make sure y'all do y'all research on these products that y'all using. Because just think about the people who's behind it and who they're advertising to and what is it that they're trying to make you conform to. I think that's something you just got to really think about.
Well, friend, I agree. And I feel like that wraps the bow on the present.
Guys, did you hear that? She said friend.
That wraps the bow on the present. That is the Shamble Diaries.
Yep.
She came back, you know, she'll be coming in.
She'll make a peep
A little
here
something.
and there.
A little something.
Yeah.
But
We going to the last segment, aren't we?
mentioning intention.
Mention intention. She always got our back, so.
Intention.
Oh,
You saw that?
don't give her a record deal.
Look,
Don't give her a record deal at all.
Give me something. Look, I mean, that's very good.
So,
Let me stop. Let me not come after the girls.
what girls?
Auto-tune.
We're not doing that here. We're not doing that here.
That's
Like we
shambly.
said-
That's shambly.
So one of the things I want to mention is cater to us.
Cater to you. I'm bad.
No, come on now, y'all. She trying to get a record deal, and we is not
That's a
about it.
Beyonce song. cater to you.
Yeah, but let Beyonce sing it.
My thing is, that was mad disrespectful. That was mad disrespectful.
I mean, you know what? I meant to say.
Don't do that.
Take your moment to shine. Express yourself.
I wish you just be honest with me. I'd rather you just be honest with me.
But definitely, all jokes aside, cater to us. I feel like there's not a lot of brands that are actually looking out for us, or, you know, not being able to find it is that these different communities, especially when we're talking about the BIPOC community and BIPOC women, there's not a lot of products that we feel like we can be like that we have access to or that are made for us. Why you over there cheesing so hard? I just
It's my face, bro. I don't know.
All right.
Damn.
But yeah, I also feel like what I can do is definitely do my research on the products that I do use, see the things that are made by these companies and like who they're trying to aim for, so that I can kind of step back. Why give all my monies? Why give all my money to the people who don't care about me?
Hard-earned monies.
It take a lot to get a check out here.
But really do.
But I also want to make sure that, you know, you find more ways to feel more you and to just be able to kind of like, I feel like we talked about this in our episode with, you know, just feeling comfortable as a woman. And this just reminded me how it's hard to feel comfortable, especially, you know, when you're by yourself, or you look to these standards, or you look to IG and stuff like that, and just even feel safe in general in the environment you live in, because literally just a few days ago, it was me, you, and Alexis all got catcalled with all these guys screaming down the street. And we was trying to cross the street in time, but time didn't have our back. But
literally.
But just make sure you feel more comfortable, and just be able to express yourself. And definitely try to create your own shit. Because you never know. You might be the new trendsetter.
The market may be oversaturated, but baby, there's you.
And plus,
they don't have you.
Yep, they don't have you. So you know what? Make it for you. You can save some coins while you're at it too.
Exactly. Get that LLC. But for me, I want to say that, you know, for a lot of BIPOC women having ethnic features, ethnic skin tones and everything, I think it takes a lot to rework that self-love back into you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For the longest, I used to have this like really bad thing about my nose, have this bad thing about my chin, about the body hair, about my skin, the dark spots around my chest sometimes and everything.
And sometimes a lot of these insecurities are because people are pointing it out.
Pointing it out.
And you never notice it until they point it out.
Literally, like I remember like the knuckles on my toes or whatever, we have like some discoloration or whatever. By the way, discoloration is normal, but also too, a lot of our ethnic features are normal. They are not something
normal
to be scrutinized. They're not something to be like corrected or anything. Like these are parts of you that it's going to take time to rework to add love into you, but at the same time, just know that, you know, healing isn't linear. Healing is up, it's down, sideways, upways, whatever. Like you are in your journey, and that's all that matters. And to also remember that whenever you look at yourself in the mirror, hype yourself up. Beauty is you. You are the embodiment of beauty. And it's hard to come to that termly with the culture that we're in and everything. But the way I found like some help with that is truly listening to my inner voice. You know, I feel like with a lot of insecurities, we're not hearing our voices, you know, that we're too dark, or we have this dark spot, or we're too fat, or whatever that may be, or whatever. Usually they're coming from people in our lives that have told us that, you know. So I say beauty is you, y'all.
Yeah, focus on you. And we just want to say thank you to everybody listening. You already know y'all can catch up on us. We're on all different socials, IG, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. We got a website. Make sure to check that out. And we just want to say thank you to our team. You know, Scarlett Figaro, she ain't in the room, but we'll give up a little shout out. Our marketing manager, Alexis Metcalf, videographer and editor. Thank you, because we be a hot mess.
Some of this stuff is a hot mess.
It's a hot mess. If you see some of these stuff and it look a little wonky, it's because of us. But also to Kim Knopf, who is our sound engineer. She's making us right. And I mean, hopefully this episode sounds okay. It was on me. I forgot the equipment.
Hey, bro, it happens. Humans. Beauty is us, bro.
You're right.
Beauty is in our
Set your own
too.
Standards.
Hey, there we go.
And there we go. Thank you to Waveform too, and thank you to everybody. Thank you.
And we want to hear from y'all soon too.
Yes.
So
Make sure y'all let us know everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
We trying to get with y'all.
Literally, I want to hear from y'all.
All right, here we're gonna end it. All right, bye.
Bye, y'all.